Hey, welcome to the Harryman Show number 36. Today we have guest Brad Moxey. He's the drummer of Evergreen Terrace, and he's currently playing with JB Crockett. He's an excellent metal and rock drummer and someone I like to watch and pick up on some of the stuff he does. How you doing, Brad?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Coming all the way from Texas. How you doing tonight?
Oh, it's good. It's freezing cold, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, I wish I could say that about this place, but nope. But Brad. Yeah, like I was saying, he's kind of come a couple projects a little bit. He's currently playing with JB Crockett, which is a country rock band, correct?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
And you guys just had a small slew of shows. I mean, recently.
Yes, we did two shows last weekend, which was really crazy because we haven't played. We played right before everything shut down. We played at Bike Week. We played
nice.
there. We played there Wednesday and Thursday, and then we played Savannah on Friday for St. Patrick's Day, which Savannah is like a big city for St. Patrick's Day, and then we played Jacksonville Beach on that Saturday, and then on that Tuesday they had everything shut down. So that was the last show we played. I think it was like March 16th was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So then this past weekend was the first time we had played together since then.
And was that more like a drive-through kind of, or was that just a normal concert?
No, it was like a normal concert.
That's nice.
It's pretty easy, yeah. Well, luckily, like both the places that we played, they've been pretty safe and are doing all the correct safety measures. And they had like those UV light things put in the air conditioning unit so that the air that cycled through it killed whatever was in the air. And yeah, it was good. It was like just really great to play live music again for people. And, I missed like the energy exchange and,
I imagine.
I miss seeing my friends that I play with. I mean, we're all like good friends. And so we actually since the break was so long, we actually got, for the first time in a long time, got together and rehearsed for a couple days before that, just to kind of re-gel. And we had written a bunch of new songs, so we had to, put those into full band format. And so, yeah, it was great, man.
So was there any struggles with getting your hands recalced up again? Were you just staying on top of your chops during the break?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of sporadically played. I wasn't at it daily, but I would, probably play at least 2 or 3 times a week. Just try and sneak in 30 minutes or an hour. I have 2 small kids, so I have to. When I get home from work, I need to spend time with them, so I try and sneak it in when I can.
Yeah, understood. So before we get into what you're currently doing, let's kind of take it back though. What got you into playing in the first place there?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because my dad, he's played drums his whole life, basically.
Awesome.
I mean, he's playing in clubs since he was 13 years old. I mean, obviously that was a different time and you could get away with that kind of stuff.
Well, that's when they used to do 7 nights a week. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right. And you could have young kids in your band and stuff. And it was it's weird because I couldn't remember a time in my life up until about, 12 or 13 that he wasn't playing. He finally stopped around, I was 12 or 13 because he was he was working full time and also playing on the weekends. So I think, obviously having basically 2 jobs like that just gets old after.
And raising kids, I imagine.
Right. And as things changed, there was less and less places to play. And, back in their heyday, they were playing dances and stuff. And kind of, techno and stuff like that. A lot of those clubs kind of took over the places that they used to play. But, so I mostly was influenced by him. And I don't know, I definitely, loved MTV and I loved, all, the hair metal bands. And I got into, Guns N' Roses and Metallica and stuff like that. And
nice. So you definitely got your Kellogg's version of it.
Yeah. it's weird because my a friend of mine, I remember when I was in the 7th grade, I was like, because when the Metallica's Black Album came out, I was like obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started showing me like some of the early back catalog stuff. And then he was like, hey, they're like playing here in a couple days. And I was like, sure. So I begged my dad to take me.
Mm-hmm.
I was only 14 years old, and he took me to that. And then I instantly, I was just like, okay, I want to do this. This is incredible. It was just like everything about it. It wasn't even like that people were like streaming for them or whatever. It's just like this. And I think that was my first experience, seeing that like energy exchange, I guess you would call it. It was just there's like something in the air that you can't describe. And it's just like, like looking back on it, I'm sure a lot of those people were kind of like taking a vacation from their lives and things they, work or disliked or whatever. It's just, I instantly was like hooked on it. I mean, it was like, it's like a drug for me,
Yeah.
I need, now I've done it so much, like, it's like I need that.
Yeah.
I need that live energy music exchange. It's awesome.
Now, with that being said, did you jump straight into like the big double bass kits, or did you kind of keep it, straight ahead with the 5-piece starting off?
No, so like when I told my dad that I wanted to play drums, he was like, okay. And he went up in the attic and got a rubber pad and sticks. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And like probably like most drummers, looking back, you're like, man, I really wish that I would have
studied
like
harder.
dove into that and learned all those, those rudiments. And yeah, so he had a 5-piece kit and I would play that. I just kind of got it out of the attic. And I mean, I remember I played it terribly, but I remember like basically Enter Sandman and like Smells Like Teen Spirit were the first songs that I learned how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, I'm sure I didn't play them correctly.
Well,
it was just
to interrupt you. We didn't have YouTube or any way to really break it down. It kind of was like you had to sit there and watch MTV and try to soak it up as fast as you could, or listen to the radio trying to record it. I remember those days.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely. I wish we would have had in-ears and stuff like that then to practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have definitely helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I just had a single pedal, and then when I was in the 8th grade, my parents bought me a second bass drum for it. And like looking back, it's kind of funny because the bass drum on my dad's kit was 20 and they got me a 22. They just bought like a used one at some mom and pop shop, and
which was
just
more common back then because they had the two different dynamics. But I think Large was kind of a pioneer of having two of the same bass drum sizes. They say
yeah,
that around that time frame as everyone started doing that. But prior to that, guys like Greg Bezzanane or stuff like that were doing the two different sizes. So it was definitely a change around then.
Well, I mean, I know he gets like hated on so much, but I mean, still to this day, I would say it's like my number one influence.
I still think he has some of the best sounding bass drums out there. Besides that one, snare stand he had, I think he was an innovator as far as getting his drums sounding boomy and bombastic the way they did on the live concert.
Oh yeah, well, especially if you listen to drum sounds, I think before Injustice for All, and then listen to like metal band recordings after that, I mean, a lot of the drum sounds are very similar after that record came out.
Mm-hmm.
With like kind of the more punchy kick drums and, like the real crack on the snare. I mean, I've heard rumors, I don't know, but I've heard rumors they tape like pennies to the kick drums or quarters.
I've heard all kinds of things, but it just they sound perfect. Though there was a live DVD they did. I forgot. I'm blanking out, but it was after the Black Album, before Saint Anger. But it'll hit me up. It will come to my mind later. But it was great. His bass drum sounded so good on that when he was playing the Silver Star Classic hit. He went to that phase.
Oh yeah. I mean, they did like the box live set.
Yeah, I think that's what it came out of.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a huge influence on me, and especially like live. Like he's just there. He's doing his best to put on like a show, and it seems like he's always like trying to give people their money's worth, and I really gravitated.
Well, they sell out arenas for a reason, and they still do, or they still would, So there's a reason behind
Right.
it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It is. It's funny because like after I was just so like like most young kids, they find something they like that's it. That's the only thing that exists.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And then this the guy that was the section leader in my percussion section in high school, his name's Kerry Stewart. He's actually a music teacher overseas now, but he was like, man, you would probably like Rush. And I was like, what's that? And then I remember,
oh, wow.
And I was into it, I liked it, obviously. And then after he showed it to me, I realized that I already knew some songs. I just didn't know it was them.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. He's like, all right, we're gonna go see them.
Oh, wow.
And then that was like, I don't know. Like at that point, I feel like I thought that I was making pretty good traction, like trying to get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the show. I realized that I was like so far behind. It wasn't even funny.
I feel you. So yeah, at this time, were you playing in local bands, or were you just still in the garage by yourself?
No, yeah, I just played by myself, and I mean all the time. I mean, God bless my parents. I don't know how they handled it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that when we had our house built, my dad had them insulate the walls in my bedroom.
Oh, nice.
Because you don't normally put insulation on the interior walls, just the outside walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's one thing of upcoming drummers. The parents have to be committed, 100%, or it's just not going to work.
Right. Yeah. And I would just play and play and play. I mean, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because like I have like a clear recollection of one time I remember like playing something and I thought it was like awesome. And I was like, listen to this. Tell me what you think. And my dad said, it sounds great, but it just doesn't have any like oomph behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it like kind of hurt my pride, hurt my feelings. Yeah. So I went in there and like played it like hard as crap. And he was like, yeah, that's it. That sounds good. And it wasn't that I was playing it hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I was like channeling the anger, I guess, or frustration.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know. Then that like became part of like the way that I played.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized like, oh, I mean, not necessarily the volume. It was like more about, oh, okay, well, if I change it, then I can make it more driving, or
energy and mood.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So that's one thing I kind of lead to what you're currently doing. I've been watching your YouTube channel. It's what you called You Got Moxey. And I have to say that you go from everything in some of your cover songs from double bass, really good chops, to doing kind of like linear gospel chops is one thing I've noticed with you. Is really good.
Thanks, man. I've been like trying to figure that stuff out, and I wish that I knew someone that I could like sit down with and
mm-hmm.
learn some of that. I mean, it's just not from a world that I came from.
Yeah.
It's just totally different. I feel like, in some ways there's like, if I could go to Nashville and take lessons from a 70-year-old session drummer,
mm-hmm.
there's things I can learn from him that I couldn't learn from anybody else,
Yeah. And I know, I know that you said you were practicing sporadic, but what you definitely have chops and everything you do. Was there anything you do while practicing? Do you kind of go through a rudiment drill, or do you, just kind of hammer through things when you get your speed up?
Yeah, it depends. Because like with like playing with JB Crockett, normally I'll try and like think about the feel, mm-hmm. even if I'm not necessarily changing the notes that I'm playing. I'll try and like work on the feel, and then like transition, kind of fill stuff. Okay, what's something, that's like the funnest part about playing with him is like deciphering what I think sounds cool versus what really fits.
Mm-hmm. And he gives you the freedom to kind of run along with it?
Yeah. So far, it's been good. But we all have like a good chemistry and a good friendship, so no one gets hurt about, okay, that's maybe a little too busy, or,
mm-hmm.
why don't you try like this kind of feel, or let's do it like that. So I mean, with him, a lot of practicing has been maybe not so much like speed and chops and stuff. Usually, I'll just kind of do that at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and just I guess a lot of drummers do this. I just kind of play, and then if something cool comes out of it, I try and remember what that was.
Yeah, I understand. Definitely
Or
understand
like,
that.
yeah, and you're like, this is awesome, and then you play it like 50 times, and then the next day you cannot, for
Land
the
it.
life of,
It's like
remember how.
laying a nice skateboard trick and not being able to do it for the next week. I get it. I understand. I totally understand that.
Right? Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right. So
But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
So I probably jumped ahead, but how did the gig for Evergreen Terrace come along for you?
It's kind of funny because so it was probably like 2000. I want to say like 5. They parted ways with their drummer, and they just recorded a record. And they asked me if I could fill in because they were doing these 3 shows. They were on a label called Eulogy at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and Eulogy was filming for a DVD. And also MTV it's weird. MTV came to one of the shows, and they were filming for, God, I cannot remember what the name of the show was.
Was it a metal show?
No, it was like a reality show, but it was about people that wanted to like the girl in this show was like into metal and stuff, and she wanted to kind of be like a little more girly.
Oh, True Life.
Was it called like Maid or something like that?
I think so.
I think it was called Maid.
Okay, I think I remember that one. To be honest with you, those are like the last years of MTV I can kind of cling on to, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they did one of the. So they asked if I could fill in, and it was super fun. And we played all the shows, and it was hard at that time because they were like kind of just getting some traction,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like an it was like my first apartment and stuff like that, and I just couldn't really afford to be in the band full time. I was just trying to like make some money and work, and just started doing remodeling then. So I was trying to like, I guess quote unquote get my life together.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I couldn't do it. And then they had this other drummer for a while named Kyle Mims, and he was amazing. And then in like 2012, they asked if I had any interest in playing some shows. And I said, yeah. That was actually like a huge turning point for me because I really, really wanted to do it. By then I was like, more settled and kind of had my stuff together and had like better gear and all that. And I really wanted to go to Europe and, play all the shows that they played. And I had been friends with the guys for a long time, and I really, really wanted to do it. And I was just not, at that point, I was not good enough. I could not hang. So I spent like hours and hours and hours shedding and playing the songs. It was mostly the double bass stuff, really, for me, that I just hadn't. I was in a band that was on Universal called Son of a Bad Man, and it was. I was in that band for a long time, and it was very like pop rock. And the band before that I was in was a rock band. So I just I kind of had lost all those double bass chops. I just shed it. I just wanted it bad enough, and then it's kind of funny because I was all excited. I had learned all the songs and I could play them and all that. And then they wrote music. Then we wrote music for the next record, and then the stuff was even like a little bit harder. So,
you just pushed the bar.
But stuff was a huge turning point for me because it forced me. It was like kind of sink or swim. Can you hang or not?
Nothing's better motivation than fear sometimes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. It really like helped get me into drumming shape, and
Mhm.
you know,
Now, did you find yourself dieting and kind of like laying off certain things at that time? Because I've noticed a lot of guys that go through that literally have to take a full on transformation with their diet and exercise and all that good stuff.
yeah, at the time I did. Uh, it's funny you say that because I'm like starting one in December. I'm I'm getting ready to like jump on the not New Year's bandwagon, but
the
it's just
the winds of change.
yeah. It's just
I understand that too as well.
well, I feel like I just turned 42, so
Oh,
I
I
really
didn't.
want to
You didn't look that old. I didn't know you were that old. I thought you were around my age.
thanks, man. Yeah, no, I just turned 42 actually yesterday.
Oh,
So I
happy birthday! I think I
thanks,
switched.
man.
I messaged you, but happy birthday once again.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. Yeah, so I kind of feel like I've already lost some. I like probably most people. I gained weight during COVID. I guess it was a combination of like eating your feelings and
Yeah.
not doing as much stuff as you would normally do.
Uh-huh.
So I lost some of that weight because I wanted to lose some weight before these shows came up
Mhm.
because we're playing like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. So
Yeah.
it's quite it's a lot for me. And so I just kind of feel like if I don't do it right now, I'll never do it. So
Well, I want to touch. I want to ask you, how far did you get to travel with Evergreen, or what are you guys currently? Did you get to travel the world? Or was it just more national based?
no, they do Europe every year. They
Oh,
go do
nice,
like that season.
nice.
And yeah, and like I said, we were supposed to do Australia this year, but with COVID, that fell through.
Hmm.
And we were actually booked for a show in Bogota in South America.
Oh, wow.
And I'm hoping that um, everyone gets the vaccine and and they get it down there as well.
Hmm.
Before that, it's kind of like a lot of things right now. I kind of feel like a lot of concerts are very, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's very logistical, kind of like relying stuff right now.
Right. So I hope it happens. I mean, it's a nice festival, and like Ginger is the headliner.
Oh, nice.
So
Eh,
yeah, it's a
Well, now
pretty good.
were there any memorable gigs from the past with Evergreen that you guys did?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Uh, one time we played in Poland, and it was like this kind of smaller venue. It was like maybe 200 people,
Huh.
and um, there was like a short drum solo in the set. And after I played it, they crowd surfed me. They like literally came there and lifted me into the air and crowd surfed me.
That's
And
crazy.
while they were crowd surfing me, we like to have a good time. So like while they were crowd surfing me, one of the other guys started playing my drums, and everyone started playing Thunderkiss 65.
Was this like more of like a pop feel? Because it just seems like kind of like that more Eastern kind of pop feel. That sounds like.
Yeah, they're definitely like, it's weird because Evergreen's like, I would say musically, it's almost more metal than hardcore, but like as people and the people that they have around them, they're more punk rock. It's weird, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Kind of weird how it shifts in different areas at certain times.
Yeah. So yeah, we played, I mean, lots of memorable shows that stuff I never. It's different when you like are hopeful, but then when it really happens, it's totally different, and you get to play big shows and like we played Resurrection Fest.
Oh, nice.
That was the biggest fest I've ever played, is in Spain, and it's just crazy, and like fests over there sometimes necessarily like the order is not like I feel like a lot of U.S. festivals,
Hmm.
it's like leads up to the headliner. It's like kind of like smallest band to the biggest band.
Hmm.
And I would say they end their shows with like a big headliner,
Hmm.
but like the middle's just kind of jumbled.
Yeah.
You know, like we played that show, so they have 3 different stages. So it's really cool because the band who plays before you, after they're done, there's still 2 more bands to play 45-minute sets. So you have like an hour and a half to change over.
Yeah, it's good.
So the band before us was Kill Switch Engage,
Huh.
and then the after us was Black Flag on another show. It's just crazy.
Yeah, those are 2 great bands to watch live too, as well.
Right. And I'm like, I don't understand why. I didn't know how they did things. I was like, why are we playing after Kill Switch Engage? That band is massive.
Well, you
But
guys,
it's just like,
don't down. You guys are a great band as well too. I mean, I'd be just stoked to see you guys as them. So don't downplay yourself there.
no, but I mean, just like, like fan base wise, that is a much bigger band,
Commercially, yeah, definitely.
You're right. I was like, but I didn't realize at the time, like, that's how they do it. It's just kind of like jumbled in the middle.
Well, it probably
And then, of course,
people engaged throughout the day too, so they don't just kind of show up late and leave, early kind of thing.
right. And that's definitely like one of my favorite festivals. I desperately want to go back there again.
Nice. And it's crazy to see some of these crowds in like different countries that you wouldn't even thought of, because in America we're so boxed in kind of mentality, but when you hear about these huge festivals in Spain, South America, they're like humongous,
Right, yeah. And there's like bands that, they play to like 200 people in America, and then they go over there and it's massive,
Yeah, it's like 20,000 people.
There's a lot of bands that we know, like hardcore bands, that only play Europe.
That's a trippy thought, though, to think about too, as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like not even. I mean, obviously, there's the financial side is better if you're playing to more people, but I think for a lot of them, it's just like I'd rather just play to more people than play it for 50 people at some bar. I'm gonna have to fight to get my guarantee for.
Yeah, I totally get that. So I wanted to talk about what gear are you currently playing? Are you currently playing the Crest drums and Zildjian cymbals? What you're playing?
Yeah, I'm using. I have a deal with Zildjian cymbals,
Nice.
Vader drumsticks. It's weird. I have a relationship with these 2 companies, but I'm still working to work with them. So I have a relationship with Pearl, but I don't have an official endorsement.
Okay.
So that's what the drums are. Except my snare isn't a head snare.
Oh, nice.
Like a head that makes the drumsticks.
Yeah, aluminum sticks.
Yeah, so I have a deal with them. I have a bell brass snare from them.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I have a deal with Alesis. So that's who I have.
Are you using their sample pads?
Yes, it's amazing. It's so easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like night and day. I mean, especially if like both the bands that I'm playing with, they don't really like play to track. You know what I mean? It's just mostly I needed to like trigger certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like with JB Crockett, we actually cover the Collective Soul song December.
Oh, nice.
So that has like bongos and congos in it.
Yeah.
So I can trigger those with that. With Evergreen, I use it for like in between songs. I have like ambient noise and stuff like that. So it's not just silent. And I have like 808s. And dude, that's like, it's seriously like the easiest, because I'm terrible with electronics. It's like the easiest piece of gear I've ever used.
Nice.
So like really easy to name, like name the songs, and then like for each song you can store the click, because that's what like in both those bands right now. I'm the only person using a click, so it's easy because you just put the songs in the right order, and you just hit like as soon as you're done playing, hit next.
Nice.
It just brings up the click, for whatever tempo you need. And like there's like a few things like that I've looped on there. And it's like tambourine loops or shaker loops. And then like I have those set up to where you can hit the pad. So like if I'm playing to a click, I just hit that on the one of whenever I need it. And then when I need it to stop, I just hit the pad again and it stops the loop.
Nice. And are you playing the 2-pad or the 4-pad one?
This is actually a 9-pad.
I have to check that out because I've been looking in the market. It's either that or the Rowan one I've been looking at, but a lot of people have been pushing me towards that model actually.
Yeah, it's the multi-pad. Man, it's so easy, and they have like great support because, like I said, I'm not great at electronics. So,
Mm-hmm.
this guy Mike McMillan, he's like super awesome, and
Oh, did you say Mike Nealon?
McMillan,
Oh, okay. I thought you said something else, but yeah. Sorry.
yeah, he's great, man. He knows that thing like inside and out, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll like text me when they've had updates and things like that.
Oh,
So that,
nice.
that's the great thing is like they continue to make improvements on it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like small things, like one of the things they improved was the load time between changing songs. So like if I go to the next song, instead of taking like a second, now it takes like half a second to
Yeah,
change.
that can make a world of difference in a lag like that too as well.
Right, yeah. Especially, yeah, if you're playing like an opening time slot and you have to play exactly 40 minutes or exactly 30 minutes or whatever, then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, been a great that's been a great game changer for me.
And I noticed
Couple
you've been playing. Are you playing the A Custom Hammer series?
Yeah, I kind of have a variety. I have like K Session hat.
Oh, nice.
I have two different A custom splashes and a regular A custom crash. 18, 20. That is a sweet crash, and then the ride is a hybrid where it's got a K. The outside is K, and the middle is like an A.
Oh, nice.
It's like dark. It's awesome because you kind of get like a darker ride cymbal sound, and then kind of a brighter sound in the middle.
Mm.
And then they have an ultra hammered China, which is like kind of become the staple metal China.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That one's kind of making its rounds. I'm seeing that one everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's pretty like indestructible, and it's loud. It has a great sound. It's just overall just awesome.
Yeah, I noticed that in one of your videos. It just cuts right through everything.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm trying to think else. So I also use Thimble. I don't know if you've seen that. It goes underneath the cymbals. And basically what it does is like a ball bearing. So the cymbal kind of doesn't really stay still when you're playing it. It's two things. You can use it for visual effects, like you can actually spin them.
Oh, nice.
Or it's also designed to help you from breaking it or cracking the cymbal because you're always hitting it in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of helps you from cracking the cymbal. I'm trying to think of else. I also use snare weight on my snare. It's awesome. It kind of gives you that wallet effect, like
nice.
you could put a on your snare.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just enough. It doesn't kill the sound.
Mm-hmm.
It takes out the ring. I'm trying to think who else.
Oh, I'm sorry to put you on the spot there. I should have gave you a heads
you're
up.
good.
Yeah, but I'm seeing that become a trend too. Everyone's throwing the wall. It used to be kind of a jazz thing, but now I'm seeing everyone do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. K breaks, which is that was like a huge game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
You put them. They replace your bass drum feet, and they like totally stop it from moving ever.
That's a nightmare when those things you lose control of everything during the show. That's total nightmare.
Yeah, because when they came up, whenever he sent me one, he sent me like one of the first ones before he released it. And I was playing like a lot of 4-hour cover gigs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine over 4 hours, like how annoying that gets.
Oh, yeah, pulling it.
Right. So, man, it was awesome. Like once I got that was it. Total game changer.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as heads, are you using Remo or Evans there?
Remo. Nice. And I have it's weird. I have like a relationship with them, but I haven't got an official endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like it was headed that way, but with COVID, it's kind of like they've had to slow things down as far as bringing on new people. And
well, I mean, yeah, you have less busy people, so it's totally understandable on that.
Yeah, but no, I have a great relationship with Roger, who works there, and they've been super good to me. And
Hmm.
I've, I don't know, it's weird. I've tried other heads, but I keep coming back.
Yeah, I'm totally in the same boat. I keep going right back to the vintage Emperors.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, those.
The coated ones. They just sound good on every set I put them on, and I'm like, all right, that's what it is.
Yeah, I kind of like got converted to the. They have the P77
Oh,
for the
nice.
snare.
Yeah.
Kind of like the controlled sound, like the one with the black dot. It's kind of like that, but they come now. It's kind of cool because they have all the colors. So
Yeah, the true tones.
yeah, but they sound great.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do. I have someone on an acrylic kit upstairs, and yeah, I love the way they look and the way the light hits them. It kind of just adds to the acrylic kit the way it should, you know.
right, yeah, exactly, and that's what I have now is an acrylic kit.
Oh yeah, you got a pearl or
Yeah, it's a pearl, and that's actually like,
the crystal beat?
yeah, it's funny because
I have one of those myself as well.
they're awesome, man. But it's weird. I kind of like bought it. Like, I was in the market for a new set, and when it was like right when I got the JB Crockett thing, and my other set had just taken a beating and had like been in the garage and been in the heat and the cold, and it had cracked. I just needed something that was more pro, and I was like, man, I bet acrylic would look awesome.
Oh yeah, they do. Did you get the clear one or did you get the gray like kind of because they have like the gray white one or you just get the standard clear?
It was just standard clear.
That's what I have as well.
Yeah, but man, I was kind of like scared because I had never played an acrylic kit before, so I was like, I hope it sounds good. I mean, I did research, and a lot of people love the way the acrylic sounds.
I do myself.
But yeah, and I've noticed it has like a distinct sound.
Yeah, it has like a ripple sound when you know haul butt on them. There's more. It kind of like distinctly gets the notes between the fills too a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's like there's almost like more punch and attack,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess to your point. Yeah, the notes are maybe like a little shorter,
Mm-hmm.
but you can definitely it gives you some tone. It's just not if you're looking for a whole lot of ring, that's not what you want.
No, just kind of cuts you right down to the knees, kind of thing, and just right to the point with acrylic kits.
Right, right, exactly.
I have a Levick Vistalite, bottom size, and yeah, no matter how big they are, they're straight to the point, no matter what.
Oh yeah, and that 26 will wear your foot out though.
Oh yeah, but when you get used to 26, you just get used to it. Then you go to 22, and it feels like a mini size. It's weird, and it gets easier it gets easier when you work down instead of working up. So. But the 26, once you do it for about a month, you're like, all right, it's kind of normal now. But yeah, it's weird.
That's funny because a friend of mine let me borrow a couple different times. His name's Kyle. He plays for a band called Young Ghost.
Oh, nice.
And there's times I've flown in for Evergreen shows, and he's actually filled in for me with Evergreen before. So like we have a good relationship, and he's let me use his kit before, and he has a 24 kick, a 14 tom, and an 18 floor tom. Mm-hmm. Man, that like, if I'm not used to it, even that like wears me out.
Yeah, but it's weird. You get used to it though after a couple times. Though. It's kind of bizarre at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, especially that 18-inch floor tom, like when you're trying to do rolls and stuff, it's like playing on cello,
Yeah, the Levick kit I'm playing right now is a 14 in front of me, 18 on my right, and a 16 on my left, and a 24 in front of me. So yeah, I'm kind of used to the bigger size right now.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to try it in the near future. Mm. I feel like I bet through a big PA at 24 sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's just been a while, like yourself. I haven't really nothing really left the house the last 6 months. Which, so before we let you go, what do you guys have planned coming up that you know of in the near future?
Well, it's kind of like up in the air. Mm-hmm. With Evergreen, I've recorded 2 new songs and a cover for an EP that we were going to put out this last year, but obviously it didn't happen. But the drums are done for that. I'm not it's kind of up in the air. And then Crockett, we're just kind of waiting for the next shows to roll along, and we've been doing a lot of writing, and we're
And you guys are
hopefully
just
going to be.
you guys are just playing on the local Texas level right now, correct?
We're what?
You guys are just playing in the Texas area right now, correct?
Actually, no. We've been playing a lot of Southeast shows because we're all spread out. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, JB lives in Nashville. Our bass player Jeff lives in St. Louis, and our guitar player Robbie lives in Jacksonville.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of weird because everyone is all spread out.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of helps with
But-
traveling because you guys can kind of network in you're in your side of town too, I imagine.
Right. Yeah. So we, like we have a group chat, and we talk in that daily, and always passing around song ideas or ways to improve on a song, or different, just show ideas and stuff like that. So it's like we're just all trying to get ready so that when we get the green light, we're like ready to roll.
Yeah. So the best place to check out your drummer would obviously be your YouTube channel. You got Moxey. I highly recommend everyone go out and check that. What would be the best place to listen to JB Crockett and Evergreen's newer music?
Always on Spotify, I would say. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, kind of all the main streaming services. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping with Evergreen, that we'll have this new music released within hopefully a couple months. Like when we can start seeing some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and that's just something everyone's kind of waiting on too right now. So it's hard to even guess at this point.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, Brad, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and I look forward to maybe doing this again with you when everything kind of snaps back into place again. But thanks a lot, Brad.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Brad, like I said, check him out on his YouTube channel. You got Moxey. Check out his 2 current projects, Evergreen Terrace and JB Crockett. You guys all have a good night and enjoy the show. Thank you.